So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our special video. And again, this is based on a satsang, single satsang question. And this is why I actually like doing such questions, as everybody gets to understand and learn. Because when you say, well, answer about Ketu in the third house conjunct Saturn in the sign of Libra, Nakshatra Swati, what does that mean? That's a very empty question. So I really want to pick personal questions. Please put it in the comment section when your question can relate to everybody. Okay. So today we're going to be discussing how a person's planet receives a Neecha Bhanga by another person. And actually, one of the best example of it would be me. Because I have a debilitated planet, and if it wasn't for another person, I wouldn't be able to achieve the success I did, because I saw the results right away. So that's what we're going to be discussing. And as always, if you do not know what your planetary placements are in your Vedic astrological chart, all the conjunction, nakshatras, for that check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, consultations, and link to my academy, Magha Vedic Astrology Academy, where you'll find everything related to nakshatras and Vedic astrology. So let's start with this particular video. So it's very simple. Let's say, for example, you're a Leo ascendant, okay, and you have Saturn in the third house. That means your Leo ascendant, Sun is in the third house and is debilitated. I don't know if that's Saturn. But in such case, what will enable Sun to gain strength are many parameters. One of them is a Neecha Bhanga Raj yoga, meaning either the planet whose sign Sun is sitting in case which would be Venus, is in Kendra houses, which is 1, 4, 7, and 10. Or in the sign where Sun is exalted, which is Mars. If Mars is in 1, 4, 7, 10th house, it would be considered a Neecha Bhanga. So let's say if you have a Leo ascendant and Sun is in the third house debilitated, and you don't have the other areas that are helping you, whether it's divisional charts or certain yogas or certain aspects, then how does one suddenly see a shift in their life? Well, the thing is, when you marry someone who have, in this particular example, Venus or Mars in Kendra, in their own chart, that will enable your Neecha Bhanga. That will enable your Neecha Bhanga. So, for example, you're a Leo ascendant, and your spouse, let's say, has a Taurus ascendant, and Mars, let's say, is in the ascendant 4th house, 7th house, 10th house. That is giving you the Neecha Bhanga you need for your Sun. And this can be with any planet. So, for example, if your Mars is debilitated in the 8th house in Cancer, which means either Moon or Saturn need to be in Kendra houses. And if you don't have that in your chart, in such case, if your spouse has Moon or Saturn in 1, 4, 7, 10 houses, from their ascendant, they're giving your Mars a Neecha Bhanga. Then let's give it another example. Let's say your spouse doesn't even have that. So your spouse cannot help your Neecha Bhanga. Then the second thing you can look for is your children. Your children, if they have those particular scenarios happening in their chart, then they will give your planet a Neecha Bhanga. So if your Sun is debilitated and your children have Mars or Venus in Kendra, then your Sun gets a sudden uplift. Because you got to understand something about a universe. Universe is all vibration. Okay, it's all vibration and energy. Everything is vibration, and there is actually a core to the universe. You know, like there's a core to a computer, because remember, as above, so below. Computer cannot function without a CPU. And I've actually said something similar to this in my sci-fi book, KRSchannel, that there's a universal brain and a CPU, and it's all vibration. So when you merge in with someone through marriage, or you create a karmic path for another life to come in to fulfill their karma, they're bound to you for life. And this is why their chart will energize your chart. And the person doesn't even have to be in the same house with you, because remember, at one point children will leave, children will have their own life, but because they're karmically are bound to you as your children, that particular aspect works. So this is how, when you do matchmaking, it's not just these 20, 30 things that you're looking for. One thing you can definitely look for is how a cancellation of Neecha is happening. Neecha meaning, Neecha is in like downwards position, low position. So Bhang meaning cancellation. So Neecha Bhang, cancellation of debilitation. And in my own particular life, children, one of my planets, a very perfect example, let's say, well, let's just say my kids didn't have it. My wife did. But let's say my wife wants to leave me. And if she leaves, then yes, I would be back to that particular struggles of that planet. And this is why you see how divorces will always somehow change a person's life back to something that they were, or may actually improve their life, because the planetary synchronicity is happening along with the yogas that are being made in those particular situations. So this is how you want to study a Neecha Bhang, in your own chart, especially if you have a debilitated planet in your birth chart, or you have several. Sometimes all of them can find a cancellation of that through the other person's chart. Okay. So anyway, guys, this is my satsang question for this week. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below, and make sure you go to astrologykrs.com and go to contact section and subscribe to my letter, which I will send out in a few days, giving some details about the other announcements. But also make sure, if you're going to put a question regarding satsang, make sure it's a universal question so everybody can enjoy it, and I can enjoy making that. Okay, bye-bye.